Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a good day so far. I hope everything's going well for you. We're back today with another live show. I haven't done one of these for a while, so I thought I'd come back and do one again today. We've obviously had a lot of news and a lot of things going on since the last video. So today we're going to do a pre-season video, sort of talk about things we've learned in pre-season so far. We're going to talk about obviously the win against Liverpool and also the win against Melbourne Victory. So please do get involved in the comments. I do know that you guys prefer, I think, the live shows. Obviously, it's nice for you to all get involved. So that's why I'm going to try and do some more live shows. Obviously, I've just come back from holiday. So I had a nice break away and now I'm back with the content. So yeah, pre-season. We're going to talk about pre-season. We're going to talk about how pre-season's going so far, the couple of games we've played, what we've noticed, anything interesting. So please do get involved in the comments, guys. And yeah, let's get started. So obviously, the Liverpool game. I actually really enjoyed the game. I'm sure a lot of you did as well. Very very enjoyable game. Beating Liverpool, of course. I know for the majority of the game they had their second or third team out, but it's always nice to beat Liverpool. So I think that was good for us. Obviously, Martial looked very very sharp. Sancho looked good. Bruno played well as well in the Liverpool game. So I think overall that Liverpool game went very well. Then obviously the game yesterday, I think Sancho again was very very good. Martial again was top really. So we're going to discuss these games. We're going to have a look at a couple of things that we can take away from these preseason games so far. But let me know, guys, in the comments, what do you think so far preseason? How would you rate it out of 10? Who's impressed? Who hasn't impressed? So what do you guys think so far in preseason? And yeah, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen now. We'll have a quick look, a couple of things that I've sort of talked about on Twitter already. So if we have a look, I will share my screen and we'll have a look at a couple of things that we've seen so far during pre-season. Okay, so obviously the Liverpool game, very, very interesting. Obviously, we were very, very happy with the result there. I've put a few tweets out here. The first tweet, I think, was the first noticeable thing, I think, from that Liverpool game was the press. I think everybody watching would have realised that I think in recent years, I think if you look under Ollie, we were sort of half-hearted. I think if you look under Ranić, we pressed really for that Crystal Palace game, and then I don't really know whether he pressed much after that. We were very, very inconsistent with our press under Ranić. So I think this is something to look out for under Ten Hag. I think if you look at this picture here, this is from the Liverpool game. Look how compact the press is there. Obviously, there's things that could be improved on, but you can see there how compact the press is. You can see a clear idea of what we want to do or how we want to play. And then, Tyrone Malacia, I thought he was looking very, very impressive in that Liverpool game. I think very much the confidence was showing. I think the way he was turning out of tight spaces, the press resistance. So I think Malacia did look very, very good as well. And then Eric Bailly, we saw we always get it from Eric Bailly, don't we? The crazy moments from Bailly. So we saw that as well. I think he's actually been quite good, Bailly, but he just can't stay fit. That's the issue. That is the issue with Eric Bailly. So he just cannot really stay fit, which is a shame, really. Again, Charlie Savage and Iqbal as well. Really, really impressive. I don't know whether you guys thought the same as well. But I think Charlie Savage and Zidane Iqbal have been very, very good. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're just talking generally about pre-season. We're going to go into a couple of tactical points in a moment, so stay around for that. But now, for now, we're just going to talk generally pre-season so far. Who's impressed? Who hasn't impressed? So, what have you thought so far in pre-season? So yeah, and then obviously we won the trophy. Bit shameless, but we won the trophy. Martial got man of the match there. We got the first trophy of the Ten Hag era. So this tweet went a bit wild actually. This is Zidane Iqbal. So you can see I've only watched Zidane Iqbal. I think I watched him once before. I couldn't really remember what I sort of thought of him from that other time. But from this game against Liverpool, he showed real confidence. You can see here something that I think Man United fans criticise McTominay for, and rightly so, is that McTominay often doesn't show for the ball enough. If we're in a difficult situation, building up, we need somebody to make an option. McTominay often doesn't show for the ball. Zidane Iqbal always did. And I saw a couple of comments saying he was passing backwards, etc. Well, sometimes you have to pass backwards. So I'm not so bothered about that. It's the maturity he showed. You can see here in the picture, sort of dropping deep, looking to get involved in the build-up play. So I think Zidane Iqbal has been really impressive so far. And next to Charlie Savage as well. I think those two have been very, very good. But yeah, Zidane Iqbal has certainly in that Liverpool game played very well. And then I've noticed this inverted fullbacks as well in the Liverpool game. So you can see here, you can see here you've got Shaw wider, you've got Dalot more central, and then in the second clip, sorry, just the connection's a little bit slow. You see the second clip there, we've got Dalot slightly wider and Shaw more narrow. So this is something we've noticed so far. Shaw and Dalot both from time to time playing a wider role, both from time to time playing a more inverted role. So that's something we've definitely seen so far. De Gea, I think, De Gea is an interesting one. I think we can all agree that David De Gea actually did some sweeping against Liverpool, and then he got injured, funnily enough, unfortunately. But David De Gea, I think he was a lot more commanding against Liverpool. There was a clear effort to be more of a sweeper, but then he obviously went and got injured. So obviously it's not something that he's used to. So he may have to get used to that. I still think, as I said here, we still need a bigger sample size to judge, really. He played well for half a game or 60 minutes, however long he played for. We need to see a bigger sample size of De Gea to really judge, to see whether he can become more of a proactive keeper in the long term. But certainly so far in that Liverpool game, there was some promise. And what else have we seen? So the main three sort of takeaway points, I think, from that first Liverpool game were sort of the high and compact press, inverted fullbacks, and overloads in attacking areas. So we saw, for example, in that Liverpool game, a front five at times, overloads in attacking areas, trying to push the opposition back, trying to gain dominance in their sort of defensive third, in their half. So just let me know, guys, is the connection all right? Just let me know in the comments, because I've come back home. The Wi-Fi is not the strongest here, but just let me know what the connection's like. And also, please do get involved in the comments about your thoughts as well regarding pre-season. I will read a comment out. I want this to be interactive. So, guys, please do get involved in the comments as well with your thoughts. And please do let me know about the connection as well. Is it all okay? Please just confirm with me. Okay, so yeah, if you're only just joining in, we've talked about a few things about Ten Hag's first game of pre-season against Liverpool. We talked about the inverted fullbacks. We talked about the overloads in attacking areas. We talked about the high and compact press. So I think those three things for me were the three big takeaway points from that first game. I think that those 3 points we can all be very, very happy with so far. And we've also talked about, De Gea. We talked about Zidane Iqbal, Charlie Savage, Martial. I think those players have all impressed so far. Okay, so then we'll move on to the Melbourne game. So we talked about the Liverpool game a little bit. We'll move on to the Melbourne game, and then once we talked about the Melbourne game, we'll talk about pre-season as a whole so far. And we'll talk about players who have impressed, what we think is going to happen going into the season. So please do like the video if you're enjoying. Guys, please do like the video if you are watching right now. And guys, please do get involved in the comments as well. because I will interact with all the comments as always. Please do get involved in the comments. Who's been your standout player so far in pre-season? What have you enjoyed about our game so far? What do you think so far about pre-season? Let me know in the comments, guys. So yeah, obviously against Melbourne, I think we all were a bit disappointed with the way we conceded that goal. So obviously on the counter attack, Melbourne scored. Now, this is going to happen under Ten Hag. This is going to happen more often now before he gets the right profiles he wants, and it's also going to happen after he gets the right profiles he wants. Even when he gets his top targets and he gets the team playing in exactly the way he wants to play, we're still going to be vulnerable from counter attacks. Right? That is just the way that Ten Hag plays. He's very, very expansive in his system. He wants to take risks. He wants to put numbers forward. He wants to take risks, and we are going to concede from counter-attacks. It's going to happen. But I think a lot of people were disappointed with the way we conceded the goal. Lindelof, Maguire got a lot of stick. Lindelof got some stick. I don't particularly rate either Lindelof or Maguire incredibly highly. I do think ideally I'd play Martinez next to Varane. But we've seen Varane's already got injured in pre-season. So we'll see what Ten Hag does with Lindelof and Maguire. I'd imagine Maguire is going to play if he stays captain, but I don't think Lindelof and Maguire are particularly fantastic players at all. And I do think they both could have done better for the goal. But as I said, this is going to happen a lot under Ten Hag. So don't sort of be worried if you see us conceding a lot of these goals. It's going to happen. Marcus, big up Charlie. My standout players have probably been Sancho, Malacia, and Iqbal. Yeah, Marcus, I would agree on those players. I think Iqbal for a lot of people has been very good, me included. So yeah, good thoughts there. I agree. So yeah, in terms of the transitions, it's going to happen. We need to improve on it. And even when we get the players we want, even when Ten Hag gets the players he wants, I've watched a lot of Ajax. They concede a lot of goals. Not even goals, they concede a lot of counter-attacking opportunities. Okay? And that's also why you need a proactive keeper to stop those chances being created. Look at what Alisson does for Liverpool. Alisson stops the chance before it even gets to his box. That's what we need from a goalkeeper. So I'm hoping that David De Gea, we've seen him sweep a few times against Liverpool, look quite impressive. So I'm hoping De Gea can improve even further in that sort of metric. And yeah, I said actually during the game, this is actually a brilliant test for us. It's actually a very, very good game, that Melbourne game. When we went 1-0 down, that was actually quite good for us, as silly as that sounds, because that showed us what can we do when we go 1-0 down when a team wants to just sit and be compact, sort of in a low block and sit. What can we do to break them down? And we did break them down eventually. And I actually thought we played better than a lot of people made out. There were some individual errors, some things that have been happening for a long time that people want to improve. But Ten Hag's principles are there. We can see Ten Hag's principles already. So I think that's the impressive thing. Yeah, Sancho, Martial, Bruno. And yeah, this is a little clip, a screenshot I took. So you can see here in this picture, let me just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so you can actually see in this picture, you can actually see the 3-2-5. So you can see it's Lindelof who's about to get the ball, I believe. And then I think it's Maguire on the sort of on the right hand side, and it's Fred towards the left hand side here. And then you've got it looks like Bruno and McTominay as the two. And then on the wide right, you've got Dalot. You've got Shaw on the wide left, and then you've got Rashford, I think it is. You've got Martial, and you've got Sancho. Yeah, so you can see there. It might be Elanga. Sorry, Elanga, Martial, and Sancho. Sorry, yeah, because Rashford played the second half, didn't he? Yeah, so you've got Elanga, Martial, and Sancho. So you've got the three. So you've got two centre halves and Fred. You've got two midfield players, McTominay and Bruno, and then you've got a front five consisted of the two fullbacks and the 3 forward players. So this just shows you a bit about Ten Hag. He's not afraid to take risks like this. He's not afraid to put numbers in the opposition area. You can see there, you've got the front five. You can see you've got two midfield. You can see you've got the first phase of it. You've got 3 there. So you can see here how expansive Ten Hag is. It's very, very expansive. He wants to take risks. And this is something I've noticed. You guys watching have probably noticed as well. Erik ten Hag, it might set up as a 4-2-3-1 on paper, but you don't see that shape too much during the game. You see more of an expansive shape like this. I've also seen the 2-3-5 before, so even more expansive, you could say, with the two centre backs on their own. Two midfield players and a fullback, or two fullbacks and a midfield player, and then a front five, so 2-3-5 as well. We've seen that before at Ajax. You've probably seen it in my threads, my analysis on Twitter, if you have watched that before. So we've got the 2-3-5, the 3-2-5. A front five is sort of the main common theme. So Ten Hag really likes to take risks. So yeah, that's something that we noted. Let me just zoom out again. Okay, Sancho and Dalot. I think that's something that has impressed me. We obviously did the Player in Focus series episode on Dalot, so do check that out. We looked at Dalot's stats, we looked at Dalot's attributes, what he can improve on, what he's good at. Can he be a starting right back for in a title-winning team, etc. My view has always been, I think Dalot, I've said this a lot of times, Dalot is a decent player. He's got the fundamentals of football. Can he ever reach that world-class level? Well, he's going to have to improve a lot to get there. Got some doubts, but I think Dalot and Sancho looked really, really impressive against Melbourne. The way that they were combining, the way that, one was going slightly more narrow, one was staying wider. They were combining really, really well on that right-hand side. So I think that's something to watch out for. I think Wan-Bissaka doesn't suit Ten Hag's way of playing on the ball. I think Ethan Laird's probably got more of a chance, but I think Ten Hag does want to sign another right back. So I think we'll be seeing Dalot and another right back probably for most of the season. We all should want these players to do well, even if you don't rate Dalot, you've got to want a player to do well. It's beneficial to Man United. It's beneficial to us if he does improve a lot. And as I said, he's not my favourite player, Dalot. I'm not incredibly, he's not one of my favourite players, but I think he is our best right back that we've got right now. And I think there was some promise between Sancho and Dalot. This was just a bit of a shameless tweet about Martial. I just said he's very important for our attack. This is a tweet I put out in January, and a lot of people laughed at me, etc. But I do believe that when Martial's in the team, we actually do play better football. I think we score more goals. I think Bruno plays better. I think Rashford plays better. We win more penalties. I just think we're a better team with Martial in it. I really do. Marcus, I think Dalot is going to have a really good season. Yeah, I think he could do. I certainly think he could do. I think he's a good player, Dalot. It's just whether he can become that world-class player. I think Carlo Ancelotti's always said he can. So he's obviously got praise from a big, big manager. Obviously, Jose Mourinho signed Dalot. So two of the best managers in the game in the last however many years, in the last couple of decades, rated. So he's obviously got some promise. But let me know, guys, what do you think about Dalot? What do you think about Diogo Dalot? And obviously Eriksen signed. I did a video on him earlier. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. So I've noticed from Bruno already, I think Bruno's improved very much on the ball. Still, of course, you're still going to have times where you lose possession. That's going to happen. But I think Bruno Fernandes, I've seen him at least 3 times in the last couple of games where he's received the ball and he is half of his brain, his instinct has been, right, let's look for that killer pass. He's sort of thought about it. You can almost see the cogs going around in his brain. And he said no. And he's just passed a 5-yard, 10-yard pass across field, whether it be sort of to whether he's on the right and he passes it to the left, whether he's on the left and passes it to the right. He seemed to sort of play a bit more simple. He's also switched the play really, really well. I've noticed. I don't know whether you guys have noticed this as well, but I think Bruno has switched the play very well from left to right. He did it against Melbourne a few times. I think his passing has got a lot better already. And, I was somebody who said with Bruno, I made a thread about which players suit Ten Hag's system. And I said, Ten Hag will use Bruno. I was sure of it at the time. I said, he will have to become more disciplined and improve, which he is doing already. But I think Ten Hag really will like him. And I think we've seen already, obviously, Ten Hag has sort of played two teams, the first and second half team, and it looks like the first team he's picking, that's maybe his strong. He might feel that's his strongest team at the moment, or the team he wants to try out together. And Bruno's obviously been the number 10 in that team twice now. So a lot of people are having a go about Donny van der Beek. They think Donny van der Beek's finished. He's only played two halves of football in the team that you would say has got maybe not so many great players in it. It's got a couple of players maybe playing out of position as well. You've got Ahmad at false 9. You've got who else? Alex Tellez at left centre back. So you can't really judge Donny too much in that team. And it's the same with Iqbal and Savage as well. Even though they've been impressive, this is a pre-season. This is pre-season, so we can't say too much at the moment. But from what we've seen, I think Bruno Fernandes has been quite good. I think he's improved a lot in possession. I really, really do. So Hopeful Devil, thank you for coming along, Hopeful Devil. Thank you everyone who's watching right now. Please do get involved in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about any player so far. Please do leave a like on the video if you're enjoying as well while you're here. And yeah, please do get involved. So Hopeful Devil, big up Charlie, big up mate. So are we seeing any improvement in Scott McTominay? I'm resigned to the fact that he'll be our first choice midfielder till he retires. Yeah. Look, McTominay, I just think he is a very, very limited player in possession. I think McTominay and Fred out of possession in terms of what they can offer you, it's quite useful, sort of tenacity. You look at McTominay, obviously, sort of aerial duels in the air, strong, but in possession, I just don't think he's quite good enough. So I don't think Hopeful Devil, I'm not sure whether McTominay will ever become a top player. I think he's a useful squad player to have around, but not for me. And I do think we need, to be honest with you, in the next 3 years, I think we need a whole new midfield, to be honest with you. Whether we promote 1 or 2 youth players as well as sign 3 new players, I just think in that midfield area, McTominay, Fred, obviously we've let Matic and Pogba go, and we still haven't signed, we signed Eriksen, but we still haven't really signed a central midfield player, more of a defensive midfield player. We still haven't really replaced Matic yet. So I still think we need to replace Matic and Pogba first, and then we need to sign 2 or 3 more when McTominay and Fred, maybe in a few years when, they either leave or whether they're just squad players again. I just think we need new midfield players. So yeah, I don't think we'll see too much improvement on the ball. I just think he's too limited personally. Yeah, but good question. Yeah, so this is just my tweet on Donny. So the thing is with Donny van der Beek, even when Donny van der Beek is playing exceptionally well, people won't notice him that much because he's not. People compare Donny to Bruno. When Bruno's playing well or when he's playing badly, you can notice it so much. You might not notice it as much in the coming weeks and months because of the way that he might refine his game. But when Bruno Fernandes is playing well, you know about it because he impacts the game directly through a goal or an assist. When Bruno's not playing well, you notice it because he's giving the ball away far too often, becomes frustrated, gets angry, dives around on the floor, etc. With Donny van der Beek, he's only appreciated, I think, by a certain amount of people. Certain people maybe don't like the way that Donny plays. I personally love the way that Donny plays. He passes it well, he links play well, he makes third man runs, he understands football very well, he's very intelligent. And those late box runs that he makes, we've seen him score a few goals already for Everton against Arsenal last season, for United against Watford last season, for United against Palace in his first game when he came on as a sub. Those late box runs is what Donny's really, really good at. But because Donny will not make sort of 40-yard passes or score 40-yard screamers, people think, oh, he's playing badly because he isn't scoring a goal. Well, actually, no. I actually think he's done all right so far in pre-season, and he's contributed well to the team when he's played. It's not all about players, and profiles are not all the same, It's like Martial. When Martial doesn't score goals, he still contributes to the team very much. Whether you like it or not, Martial with his link-up play, the way he takes the ball down, he's improved even off the ball now, Martial. So I don't think it's not all about scoring goals. I think the generation now, I think people struggle to sort of distinguish between, we've got very good players in football and we've got very good goal scorers. And there is a difference. And I think Donny is a very good player. I don't think he has to score a lot of goals. to contribute to the team. So Malu, thanks a lot for coming along, Malu. So some people expect him to make the killer pass. Yeah, exactly. That's not his tendency at all. Grow. He's a top first-time finisher in the box. Yes, clinical, passes the ball into the corner. Yes, he is. He's a number 10 for me. I think some people think he's a pivot player. I don't think he is. I think he's a number 10. And Marcus agrees there. Yeah, hopeful Dale. Yeah, so a good replacement for Thomas Muller. Yeah, sort of the round Deuter. Yeah, so I just don't know how well he'll fit here without a top class 9 ball controlling the field. Yeah, that's another good point. I think Frankie de Jong, obviously we don't know what's happening with Frankie de Jong, but I think if Frankie de Jong were to come in, you'd see Donny. I think you'd see Donny's game improve. I think with Sancho and Martial as well, I think Donny, Sancho, for example, if you've got Martial at number 9, you've got Donny at 10, Sancho on the right, I think you'd see Donny improve as well because he's got players more on his wavelength. Players that want to play the 1-2, that want to keep it nice and tidy. You will see Donny, I'm convinced, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? Some, people get things wrong, and I've been wrong. Obviously, everyone gets things wrong, but I really believe that Donny will get appreciation at some point from this fan base. I really do. He will. I really do think he'll be a key player. I think we just need to be patient and wait for Erik ten Hag to build his team. So yeah, hopefully they have a good point there. So yeah, that's the point on Donny, and I think that might. Oh yeah, we've got one more point. So this was Luke Shaw again. We can see the impact of an inverted fullback. Dalot and Shaw again. During certain phases of the game, one of them tends to be more inverted, one of them tends to be slightly wider. We obviously saw against Melbourne yesterday that our right-hand side was much more dangerous. Firstly, I think that was because we had a better player there in Sancho rather than Elanga. But also, I think it was also because of the instruction. I think Shaw, in some circumstances, was told to hold his position in this type of position, and in this type of position, he was told to stay more centrally. Why? Well, it's easier to stop a counter-attack if your fullback's more central, and also you can contribute to the link-up play there as well. So yeah, I think that's why our left-hand side was not as dangerous as our right as well yesterday. Firstly, because of the instruction given, and also because of the quality. Sancho, obviously, in my opinion, a far superior player in terms of natural quality than Elanga for me. Okay, so that's it really in terms of going through Twitter. Going through Twitter, looking at what I've tweeted. I want to get involved more in the comments now, guys. So let me know what you think of pre-season so far. What do you think so far? How is it going? And again, I've noticed how much we're flooding bodies into the box. Yeah, very expansive. If you guys haven't seen it already, let me go back to the other picture as well from the Melbourne game. I think it might have been. So this was yesterday as well. As Gross says there, look at that. Look at that 3-2-5. Yeah, so look at that shape. You can clearly see how expansive that is. So I think that's what we're all sort of enjoying at the moment so far in pre-season. How expansive we're being in possession. What do you guys think so far about Erik ten Hag? How would you rate the games? I personally think against Liverpool, I'd say 9 out of 10. I thought we were excellent. Again, yesterday, maybe more of a 6, 7 maybe out of 10. But I still think we played quite well. I think a lot of people got frustrated, but I still think we played pretty well yesterday. Oh wow, Mallows, I was at the game yesterday. Oh wow, okay, you're very, very lucky. I hope you enjoyed it. Midfield of Savage and Iqbal was great again. Yeah, I think they've got quite a good mix, Savage and Iqbal. I think Savage is more of a deeper player, deep line player. I think Iqbal can receive off the back, sort of the back 2 or 3, and become part of build-up and get involved in that sort of thing. But I think Iqbal is better sort of progression, more of a number 8. But I think Savage is very, very good in deeper areas. So I like that combination. You've got more of a. I'm not comparing him to Carrick at all in terms of quality. I'm just saying in terms of his attributes, what I've seen from Charlie Savage. He seems sort of a really, really good player at receiving the ball off the defence, sort of dictating play from deep. Iqbal, for me, seems more of a Frankie de Jong type player, more of a progressor. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the game. I'm sure you did. And yes, I enjoyed that as well. Hopeful Devils are flooding the box on more off the ball movement. No more static attackers waiting for ball play to their feet. Yeah, I think Martial, look, I've always said with Martial, I think he's one of our best players in terms of technical ability. Right? I think everybody can agree, Anthony Martial, in terms of technical ability, fantastic. It's about the application with Martial. It's about his work rate. It's about his determination, consistency. When are we going to see this again and again and again? And I think one thing I've noticed is Martial's movements, his work rate off the ball has been excellent. Martial on the ball has never been a problem for me. Yes, the last couple of seasons, he's lost a little bit of explosiveness in terms of his one-on-one dribbling. Yes, I think we can all agree with that. However, he's playing more as obviously a number 9, so he's not going to have as much, when he first burst onto the scene, obviously his first goal against Liverpool from the left. When you're playing on the left, you've got much more of a chance to go one-on-one and, take a player on. When you're at 9, it's more about your link-up play, about your movements. And I think you are right, Hopeful Devil. I think Martial, I think he's embodied our change. He's been, for me, sort of one of the main catalysts. You can look at that team and you can think, wow, he looks a reborn figure, really. And I'm just hoping that he can stay fit, he can improve his consistency. And yeah, I think hopefully we can see something good from Martial, as we hope from every other player. Marcus, so I think our control on the ball has been so impressive. Yeah, and I think Marcus as well, particularly in the Liverpool game, how well did our second half team do? How well did they do? I mean, even Alex Telles, he started a bit shaky, but even Alex Telles at centre-back, he actually did okay against Liverpool. And when you're bringing, Savage and Iqbal on against Liverpool's team, and their best team is playing in the last half an hour, you look at I looked at the game and I thought, wow, we're actually playing really well here against a good Liverpool team. So I think Marcus is right. And you can see, I think one thing is clear, why we're not seeing, when the second team are coming on, the second half team, obviously there's a drop in individual quality, and drop in experience. There's more younger players coming in. There's some, obviously the individuals maybe haven't got as much experience, a lot, maybe lesser quality. But what you can see from the first and the second team, the principles are staying the same. And I think that's one of the main things I've noticed. Even though we've got individuals making some errors, the way that we conceded the goal against on the counter-attack against Melbourne, Fred taking a couple of silly shots from 50 yards yesterday that Ten Hag won't be happy with. What we can see is the principles, the foundations of Ten Hag's philosophy. And that's why you're not seeing so much of a difference from the first to the second team, in my opinion, in terms of quality, even though the second team you might think isn't as good in terms of their individual quality. As a team, you're still seeing the foundations, and that's a big thing. That's why when Pep Guardiola rotates his team, even when, you remember when De Bruyne got injured a couple of seasons ago and Gundogan turned into a false 9 and he scored loads of goals in consecutive games. You look at the way that Liverpool deal with injuries, the way that Klopp plays. These top managers, you really turn individuals that haven't got so much quality, or they turn, bad situations in terms of injuries into good situations by the way that they play and the way that their foundations sort of spread across to the whole team. Everyone understands how you want to play. And I think this is massive as well, because for example, when Iqbal and Savage might go back to the under-23s, they will take some of those principles back with them. You know what I mean? So this is key. I think integrating youth players is key to try and spread this sort of philosophy across all the sort of age groups. I think it's key. So another comment here from Grow. So against a low block, a left-footed defender would be such an asset. The ability to switch play is crucial to breaking down the defence. Martinez. Yeah, I agree, Grow. And that's why I prefer Martinez as a centre-back. Because as I said, I think on a video recently, if you're in midfield, I think you haven't got as much chance to progress the ball. Obviously, with Ten Hag's system, the defenders almost play in midfield positions, really, how expansive it is. But if you're dictating from deep, as you rightly say, you're going to have less pressure on you. You're going to have more time to play those passes. You're going to have more comfort. And also, sort of in terms of the balance of the whole defence, having a left footer is actually really, really key, because obviously it opens up another part of the pitch. So yeah, I do agree. I think Martinez is going to be a good asset in build-up, progression, breaking teams down. I think is going to be key. Hopeful Devil again. Thanks a lot for getting involved, guys. There's quite a few of you watching right now. Please do leave a like on the video if you're enjoying. Please do get involved in the comments. I'm enjoying the interaction. As I said, I wanted to do an interactive live show to get you guys involved. So Hopeful Devil, having these squad players look competent will also be massive. There is a reason why Liverpool can consistently sell fringe players for 10 to 15 and create funds for big signings. Yeah, you're right, Hopeful Devil. And also, look at the way that Liverpool sign squad players as well. You know, for example, they've signed that Carvalho from Fulham. They've signed, I think, Calvin Ramsey from Aberdeen, I think it was. So they, as you rightly said, they sell their fringe players, they sign cheaper squad players, and they develop them. And I think that's something to look forward to under Ten Hag. Obviously, we've had the report come out about Martinez today, and it looks like it's going to be up to 64 million euros, which is too much, really, in my opinion, for Martinez. But I think for this first summer, it was always going to be difficult because we're going for Ten Hag's players. You know, there's not so much sort of other targets. We need to back Ten Hag with his players. He wants specific profiles. We're going to have to spend whatever we need to spend on these players. So I'm just hoping that we do get Frenkie de Jong in. I'm a bit disappointed about how it's going with Frenkie de Jong, but I'm hoping we do get him in. I hope we do get, obviously, we've got Martinez in, we've got Malacia in, we've got Eriksen in. I'm hoping we do get a forward player in or a wide player. And also, hopefully, we can sign another sort of player, whether it be another right back or, you know, another fullback or another midfield player. I do think we need 6 signings, really. But I'm just a bit worried about this Frenkie de Jong. So, yeah, Malu, do you think we should be looking at other midfield players? I think, I've always said, I think Ruben Neves would be a good signing for Manchester United. He's got his flaws. I think he's got a lack of pace. He's played in a more protective Wolves system over the years, yes. But Manchester United, the reason why Erik Ten Hag wants De Jong, and we haven't seen that many other links to defensive midfield players, is Erik Ten Hag wants to play with the ball. Erik Ten Hag does not think about, he doesn't think as much about profiles to win the ball back. He thinks about how are we going to, obviously this JDP style of football, how are we going to position ourselves off the ball? How can we use more attacking players off the ball? How can we put them in a shape that will win the ball back? We don't need that tenacious ball winner. I think that's what Ten Hag's thinking. I don't think Ten Hag maybe thinks we need another midfield player as well as De Jong. So if we don't get De Jong, I think we need to go for 2 midfield players just to sort of, I mean, that's 70-odd million. We should be signing 2 midfield players for the money that we're going to use for De Jong. I would look at Neves. As I said before, I think Neves would be a good signing. You've got players like Fabian Ruiz. You've got Ben Acer as well from AC Milan. I think they're all good players. But as I said, Ten Hag, we haven't seen many links to defensive midfield players, sort of tenacious ball winners, because if you look at what Ten Hag's used before at Ajax, you know, he's used, obviously, Alvarez there. He's used Schürrle next to Frenkie de Jong. He hasn't used, over the years, what you'd say sort of an out-and-out defensive midfield player, if you think about, you know, a really tenacious ball-winning player that's always played in midfield for his whole career. He's adapted to what he's had, and he's made really, really good Ajax teams. So, look, I really do hope that we sign De Jong. I think we need another midfielder as well as De Jong, personally, because I just don't think you can trust McTominay and Fred. I don't think Donny van der Beek is a pivot player. Eriksen, some people, obviously he's played deeper for Brentford last season, but I still think Christian Eriksen, for me, I think if you play him in the pivot, I think we'll get torn apart. I think that might be a little bit too expansive. You know, it's all right saying you don't need a tenacious ball winner, but putting Frenkie de Jong, Eriksen and Bruno together, that would be interesting. I'd be interested to see how that works. I think we'd have to play, I think our fullbacks, I think we'd have to be a little bit more restricted with those fullbacks, else we will get punished too much. I think even Ten Hag would agree we'll get punished too much with those. Alien Tenno, yeah, so big up, mates. Savage and Iqbal ballers, yeah, I've been really, really impressed with those so far. Yeah, as I said, I haven't seen too much of them before pre-season, but really impressed with those so far. So guys, there's 14 people watching right now. Please do leave a like on the video, guys. Please do get involved in the comments. We've had a lot of interaction so far. Please do get involved. I appreciate it a lot. We're just talking about pre-season, transfers, what we think. And yeah, I think we've already seen an improvement with Manchester United. We've already seen an improvement. We've seen some clear identity, but we still need new players. Don't let these 2 games fool you. And you always get a bit excited. Pre-season, I always do. If you win a few games in pre-season, a few youth lads doing well, we always think, yes, let's go. But actually, we need to actually be serious about it. We played a Liverpool team, much changed, players that are not fully fit again, changed the team 3 times. I think they did in 90 minutes. A Melbourne team, it's Melbourne. With all due respect, if there's any Melbourne supporters, Manchester United should be beating Melbourne. So let's see against tougher opponents. I think we've got to play Atletico Madrid. I think we've got to play Aston Villa as well at some point. So we've got some more tricky games to come. Hopeful Devil. So thoughts on Ahmad for this season? I would like to see him stay, but always feel like United don't value small stature technical players. Yeah, I would like to see Ahmad get involved as well. I think he could be a key player. I think what's interesting is Ten Hag's played him at number 9, hasn't he? So the 2 games we've played, he's played the second half both times. And we've had, I think in the first game, we had Ilanga, Ahmad and Pellistri, I think. And then in the second game, we had Rashford, Ahmad and Pellistri. So Ahmad in both games has played the false sort of a number 9 position. Whether that's just to put him there because we've got nobody else, or whether he actually thinks that Ahmad could play there. Let's see, because Ahmad is very technical, links play well, very intelligent. He actually gets stuck in quite well. I think he gets on the end of crosses well. I think he's a good crosser of the ball as well. Intelligent in the final third. So yeah, I think I'd like to see Ahmad stay. I personally think Ahmad is ahead of Ilanga in terms of technical ability. But obviously maturity, obviously Ahmad needs to get more mature. And obviously a lot of people think he needs to bulk up a bit as well. I think Ten Hag will certainly look at that as well. Defensive transitions, yeah, that's going to be our biggest weakness. When we play the likes of the bottom half teams, that's going to be our weakness, defensive transitions. So that's why you look at the importance of a player like Martinez, who's aggressive. You look at the importance of a goalkeeper. David De Gea, we've seen already. David De Gea really good with his sweeping against Liverpool, but then he got injured, which is quite comical, really. He comes out to sweep and then he gets injured, which is a bit unfortunate. But this is why you need aggressive players. You need proactive players. Alien Tenor said Maguire is a dead man walking. Yeah, I think Maguire will struggle off the ball, Alien Tenor, but I think Maguire will contribute on the ball. I think he will be decent on the ball. He needs to make quicker passes. Maguire is very progressive, but he just needs to pass quicker. He's far too slow when he sort of turns. He takes a few touches. You need to turn quickly. You look at the way that Lisandro Martinez does it. Turn quickly, be progressive, get a pass in, dribble the ball up the field. We need to make quick decisions. Maguire has actually got some good technicals on the ball, but I think he's far too slow. I really do. So I think you are right, Alien Tenno. Off the ball, I worry with Maguire. And on the ball a little bit with the lack of pace. I think he needs to do things quicker. Rajiv Nepal, thank you very much, mate, for coming along. Who do you think we should sign as a forward player? Look, I said Nkunku. I always thought we needed Nkunku. I also think, obviously, he's signed a new contract. I think that Schumacher from Sassuolo would be a great signing as well. In terms of other players, Anthony, again, we talked about Anthony before. If Ten Hag wants him, fair enough, go for him. But 85 million euros is that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think that's worth going for at all. So for me, I would be looking at that Schumacher. But obviously with Martial playing really well so far, Ronaldo might stay because it doesn't look like anyone wants him. So do you go out and sign a striker? You probably don't. You could probably go out and sign more of a wide player. So yeah, I probably will do some sort of analysis on wide players. You obviously got, I think Dembele is going to sign a new contract at Barcelona. You've obviously got players like Pedro Neto, but he's very injury prone. You've got Elise at Palace, who's a good player. But I'm going to look into that more, Rajiv, because I'll be totally honest, I haven't looked into that as much. I don't think there's that much value out there. I'm much more focused on defenders and midfield players for now. But I will do a thread or do some analysis on a wire player as well at some point. Yeah, thank you, Alien Tenor, about that. Palace, we've got Palace, Villa, Atletico, and Rayo Vallecano, I think. And then we've got obviously Brighton on the 7th of August. Thanks a lot, Jose, for coming along. Do you think CR7 come into the Ten Hag team and play a similar role to Haller? I think he could easily. Yeah, I think Ronaldo. If he stays, I think he'll be vital. I think he'll score lots of goals, sort of 6-yard goals in the 6-yard box, cutbacks. I think he'll be great for that. But you look at the way that Martial has played so far, and you look at the way Martial's played and the way we've played, the way our attack's been much more fluid. What do you do? What do you do with Ronaldo right now? It's a real tough one. I'm not saying that Martial is ahead of Ronaldo in the pecking order, but the way that Martial's played so far at number 9, I'd like to see a bit more of that and see how he gets on. So yeah, I think Ronaldo, I've always said, I think he would thrive under Ten Hag, but if you've got a player that doesn't want to stay, it's a real tough situation. So let's see what happens. But I think he will suit Ten Hag. I think he'll score a lot of penalty box goals. I don't think the lack of sort of pressing is a great problem. Alien Tenor, right back's a problem. Yeah, exactly. Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me, I've always said I really doubt whether he can play in Ten Hag's system. Dalot, yeah, iffy. Not fully sure on Dalot as well. I think he's done pretty well so far. And then, yeah, Ethan Laird. I think Ten Hag wants a right back, though, to be honest. I think Ten Hag does want a right back. So let's hope we sign one. Rajiv, when are you coming on Saeed's channel? I've had a few things on recently, Rajiv. So I've been on holiday and I've also had to move out of my university accommodation. You can probably tell by the background here. It's a little bit different. It's probably a better background, really. But yeah, I'll be back on Saeed's channel soon, mate. I've just had 1 or 2 things to deal with the last few weeks. So yeah. Yeah, Shaw. I tweeted about Shaw earlier, the inverted fullback thing, but I think Shaw out of possession isn't good enough. I think really needs to improve out of possession, and that's why I think Malacia could get a fair go, really. But you've looked at the teams that we've played so far. Malacia has been part of the second half team, so maybe Ten Hag thinks Shaw at the moment is the better option. I actually think Shaw is very, very good on the ball, but I've always said defensively, off the ball, I don't think he's proactive enough. I think he needs to improve. Adrian, big up, brother. Big up, bro. I hope you're doing well, mate. I'm sure we'll catch up soon, probably meet up next week at some point. Word on the street says you're bad at Football Manager. Look, I've been playing with Ajax a little bit on Football Manager recently. Won the league and the cup in the first season. But yeah, this season's been a bit more tough with Ajax. So yeah, I need to improve. But yeah, I wouldn't say bad, but we'll see how it goes. I'll try and use my some good knowledge to some use. But yeah, thanks a lot for that comment. Ellington, and when's Donny going to get a game? I don't know. I've always said I think Bruno will be used a lot under Ten Hag. I think he'll be used a lot. I think he's liked a lot by Ten Hag. I think Donny will get a chance, and I think that. As I've always said with Donny, he's a number 10. Donny's a number 10. So if Ten Hag sees Bruno as his main number 10, Donny will struggle to get game time. He will. He won't play most of the games. But the way that Ten Hag's used Donny before, how much he likes Donny, he's surely got a plan for Donny. So in my opinion, I think Donny will eventually get some game time with the first team. But Bruno Fernandes is going to be a key player, I believe, under Ten Hag. So he may have to be patient and take his chance when he gets it, which should be right for everybody, by the way. No matter whether you like Martial or Ronaldo, whether you like, Varane or Lindelof, whoever it might be. If you're playing well and scoring goals if you're an attacking player, or keeping clean sheets if you're a goalie, or making good contributions, whichever position you're in, if you're playing well, you should be in the team. I don't want I don't want this favoritism again. If you're doing well, you need to play in the team. Adrian, so which players would you sell right now? I would sell Williams, Brennan Williams. I'd sell Alex Telles. I'd sell, although Eric Bailly's played quite well in preseason, I'd sell Eric Bailly. He's too injury prone. I would sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I would sell. I wouldn't sell McTominay or Fred, not because I think they're very good, but because of numbers. We don't have enough numbers in there at the moment unless we bring in 2 midfield players. If we brought in 2 midfield players, I might get rid of McTominay, probably. But you can't really sell any of those. Who else? That's it, really. I suppose it's mostly defenders, really. We can't get rid of Martial or Ronaldo. Obviously, sort of if Ronaldo goes, we'll have to sign a new player. But so if I was manager right now, I wouldn't sell Ronaldo unless a proper offer came in. Nobody at the moment has offered something that Ronaldo wants. There's not enough clubs that want him at the moment, and there's not enough desire from Ronaldo to go to somewhere like Saudi Arabia, right? So unless we find an offer for Ronaldo, we don't sell him, right? So I don't think we can sell any other attacking players right now. Maybe Alanga on loan, but yeah, Williams, Telles, Bailly, for me, probably the 3. We are 4 players short. Look, if it was me, if we had ambitious owners, I'd be looking at signing 8 players this summer. I really would. And people might be thinking, oh my God, how are you going to do that? But I think you look at, we've sold Pereira and we've signed Malacia. The net spend there is 0. We've signed Eriksen, still net spend in terms of, I know they're signing on fees and contracts, but net spend still 0, even though we signed Eriksen. You know, we've signed Martinez for, it looks like it's quite a hefty fee, 55 million or something, 50 million pounds, something like that. But if you get rid of Telles, if you get rid of Williams, if you get rid of Bailly, for example, that's going to free up. I mean, Williams will probably go for 10 to 15 million. Telles the same, maybe. Bailly maybe the same. So that would free up, a good 30, 40 million. So you're then looking, 5 more signings. Your net spend so far is about 50 million. You can make 5 more signings with that. I really do think so. I think there's enough out there. I think you can. Rajiv Nepal, CDM, right back, right winger, striker. Which position needs urgent addressing? We need to get Frankie de Jong in. Look, if Frankie de Jong really, really doesn't want to come, I don't think we would have ever got involved. There has to be some desire from the player. I know we've seen a lot of reports saying that he doesn't want to come. His intention is to stay. His dream club is Barcelona, right? It is. We have to be honest, but there must be something that we think, there must be something somewhere where Murto and Arnold United are thinking, well, we wouldn't have got involved in this if he really didn't want to come, surely. So I'm hoping we get de Jong through. I think de Jong is the next priority. We've got Malacia, Eriksen and Martinez. I think we need de Jong. That's 4 players, right? I then think we need some sort of wide player, or so probably a wide player if Martial and Ronaldo stay, right? And then I think we also need another midfield player as well. And I also think we need a right back. If Ronaldo was to go, I think we then will need another player. So in my opinion, I think midfield area, I think right back, and I think a wide player, they're the next positions to go for. I would ideally want 2 midfield players, but that's probably not likely this summer. Marike, so what are our realistic expectations for next season? In my opinion, realistic expectations. Some people don't think we should be finishing in the top 6 or whatever. I think realistically, finishing in the top 4 and hopefully challenge for some sort of cup. I want to win a trophy. We need to win a trophy. I know we've won this intercontinental, whatever it's called, this cup we won in Thailand against Liverpool. But I was being a bit shameless when I said that's our first trophy on Ten Hag on Twitter. I did say that, but come on, we need to win a cup. I'd love to win the Europa League. I really would. I think that would be a good competition too. So yeah, I think top 4 and try and win a cup. I think that would be my expectation. Some people have got lower expectations, but I think at Manchester United, you've always got to try and win a trophy. Hopeful Devil, do you think Bayer's done enough, or will we look to move him on? Yeah, Hopeful Devil, look, Eric Bailly, we all know he's got some good qualities. But when he's fit, the issue is he's not fit enough. We always have this. He plays well for 2 or 3 games and then he goes and gets injured for months. I would get rid of him. Honestly, I would. We need reliable players in this squad. And people will be looking at me and think, well, you want Luke Shaw to stay, blah, blah, blah. But Luke Shaw's a different situation. We've already signed a left back. We're not going to sign another left back. And also Luke Shaw is not our worst left back as well. Alex Telles is, in my opinion, for Ten Hag's system. So you've got to keep your least worst players and your most suitable players. You've got to keep for now, even if they might not be incredibly, perfect. Luke Shaw has not been consistent for many, many, many years. He's still better than Alex Telles, in my opinion, for this system. So you've got to keep him. Eric Bailly is just not reliable enough. He just isn't. I think you've got to cash in on Bailly. Even if he's played well in pre-season, you've got to cash in. Yeah, top 4, we've got to be the aim. Adrian, winning the Prem has to do with more squad depth. Yeah, squad depth is key. Squad depth is key. Barcelona can't pay their wages. Whatever you think of the Glazers, at least they pay wages. Yeah, I don't think it's Man United's fault the way this deal is going with De Jong, by the way. I think a lot of people obviously are getting frustrated. I don't think it's actually our fault that much. I think it's mostly Barcelona. They're going out signing loads of new players and they can't even pay the wages of the current players. So, it's annoying. It really, really is. Tottenham, yeah. Tottenham, I think, could be a problem. I really do. I think City, Liverpool, Tottenham, probably Chelsea. Top 4 is going to be a tough battle, But I think we need to try and get in the Champions League somehow and try and win a trophy. Obviously, we can do both through winning the Europa League. And Newcastle, yeah, unfortunately, it's not really sustainable again. But Newcastle will probably be dangerous. But I don't really like that sort of thing. I like a club built on good foundations. But it is what it is. Football nowadays, it's all about money, isn't it? So, guys, please do like the video if you're enjoying so far. We're going to go for a few more minutes until about the hour mark, and then we're going to call it an evening. It's very, very hot here right now in England. It's going to get to maybe even 38 degrees on, I think, Monday. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult next week, I think, for a lot of people. So stay safe, guys, if you do go out next week. But a few more minutes, and then we'll call it a day, guys. But please do like the video if you're enjoying. Please, right now, if you haven't liked the video, please do give the video a like. It really does support the channel. Please do subscribe if you're new. Please do share the video around if you're enjoying it right now. I've certainly enjoyed this live show. I'm going to do more live shows. As I said, I've been on holiday. I've moved out of university as well, moved out of my accommodation. So that's why I haven't been so active. But yeah, please do get involved, guys. I'm going to try and do a mix of sort of tactical shows, analytical shows. We're going to get some guests on as well very, very soon. I've got some guests lined up for the channel. Do some game, match reviews, match previews sort of stuff. Haaland will be dangerous too. He isn't playing in the World Cup, so he'll get rested. Is he not playing in the World Cup? Norway not in the World Cup. I haven't really, I haven't really looked too much into the international stuff. I'm not too interested in the international football. But if Norway aren't in the World Cup, that's going to be interesting. Obviously, he'll get a rest. So I chat with an Everton fan. He was nearly crying. They said they're going to go down. Yeah, Lampard is not a good manager. He's not. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. Lampard is not a good manager. So I think Everton could be in trouble. Defensive structure, they can see too many goals. Same what they did under Lampard at Chelsea. Not good enough, not strong enough. I much prefer a manager with a clear identity. You've got to be strong defensively in the Premier League, and there's too many teams I think that they get knocked down too easy. I think we were the same under Ollie, knocked down way too easy. Hopefully, what do you think we'll finally be competitive? We will. Under Ten Hag, we will be competitive. We might not be consistent, but we will be competitive. I do believe that. That's going to be a cracker of a game, I think. Eric Ten Hag's system against Jurgen Klopp's system. Wow, that is going to be a game to watch. I think we're all looking forward to that. I think what we want to see, I think you made a good point, Hopeful Devil. You brought up a good point. Competitiveness. Last season, you think about away at Brighton, away at Leicester, home to City, home to Liverpool, away at Liverpool. Away at City, we were slightly better, but still pretty rubbish. We just weren't competitive. We didn't look like we wanted to win. We didn't look like we believed we could win. What was the plan? Ranić, Ollie, both didn't do very well. No good really, were we? We weren't even competitive. I can take a defeat. If we deserve to lose, I can take a defeat. We go out there, we say, well, we executed our plan, but it wasn't our day, right? We executed our plan. There's a philosophy there. I think last season, in a lot of games, none of it was acceptable. For a lot of the season, none of it was acceptable, what we were watching. So, Hopeful Devil, I think we will be competitive. As your name rightly says, we've got to be hopeful. We've got to be hopeful Devils. We've got to be hopeful that we are competitive. We need to be competitive again. Everton need Wassa. I think he's gone to DC United, hasn't he? The new manager. A and 10, I've heard that Twanzavy's got some personal things to sort out, so maybe that's why. Also, I think Ten Hag's seen enough of Alex Telles at centre back that he's put Will Fish in. But no, with all due respect to Alex Telles, he's actually been okay at centre back. He's actually been better at centre back than I've seen him at left back recently. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I think Tuanzebe's got some personal things to sort out. But yeah, I do think he probably will be sold as well. Kiwi Nature, thanks a lot for coming along. Will Man United sign a striker? If Ronaldo leaves, we will. If Ronaldo doesn't leave, I don't think we will. I think we'll sign more of a wide player. So I think we'll sign a left or right winger rather than a striker if Ronaldo doesn't leave. Yes, but again, what do I know? You know, I don't know everything. I don't know all the news. That's just what I think. Okay, guys. I think we're going to call it a day. If you could probably see in the background there, you've got the Europa League win under Jose Mourinho. We're hoping that we can get a few more trophies in the next few years. Hopefully next season we can pick up a trophy under Erik ten Hag. But please do like the video, guys. If you're watching right now, we've got 12 people watching. That's quite a lot of numbers for me on a relatively small channel like this. So I really appreciate all the support that you guys bring every time. Next week, we're going to bring back the Player in Focus series. We're going to cover, I'm not fully sure yet, I think we've seen Luke Shaw and Fred have been the most two popular names. So we're either going to cover Luke Shaw and Fred. We're going to analyse last season, how did they do? We're going to look into next season, what can they do under Ten Hag? So we're going to look at Luke Shaw or Fred probably. I might cover Shaw because I want to cover maybe another defender first, and then we might move on to Fred the next time. But we'll be back next week with a Player in Focus episode. I'm going to try and do it live as well. So we're going to analyse a Man United player from last season. How can they fit under Erik ten Hag's system? How can they fit in under Ten Hag? So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Please do subscribe if you're new. Please do like the video. It helps us out a lot. Please do get involved in the comments, as always, in future shows, guys. I really, really appreciate all the support from all of you. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I hope you enjoy your evening. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And obviously, Man United will be back playing. I think it is on Tuesday. So hopefully we see another positive performance from United on Tuesday. But again, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Thanks for your support. And I'll catch you soon, guys.